So in this video, we're gonna evaluate the Baltimore Ravens season. Being 7-7, I mean that is the definition of mediocre. But I think the Ravens have been playing better. I understand they lost a couple of divisional games, but they bounced back against Sunday. The defense looked phenomenal. Louis Gilman has taken this secondary to a different level. And Baltimore has a chance to go to the playoffs. I mean, yeah, they'd have to win out, or the Steelers would have to lose two of their next three games, and that would give the Ravens a little bit of cushion, but basically the Ravens are going to have to win their next three games, and their opponents are going to make it certainly difficult to do that. So the upcoming game is against the New England Patriots. Now, it is a home game on Sunday Night Football, which certainly helps. The Patriots, they don't stop the run well. They don't take away the football defensively. The Ravens, they're kind of a good matchup, honestly, for the Patriots, but it's still going to be a tough game. And then going to Lambeau at Green Bay is an even more difficult game. But without Micah Parsons, that game becomes way more winnable. And then obviously the most important game, Week 18, is at Pittsburgh against the Steelers. And if the Ravens win all of those games, they will get a home field playoff game, which, given where this team started being 1-5, that just seems impossible. But that's kind of where we're at. But the Ravens, they've got to take this one game at a time, because what we've seen this season is if you don't and you kind of look ahead, all of a sudden you're losing two divisional games and nearly costing yourself a playoff spot. So against the Patriots, we're not going to do a preview just yet. It's a Sunday night game. We'll probably get into that tomorrow. But in this one, I kind of just want to talk about the game against the Bengals because I never actually got a chance to do that. So Lamar Jackson only threw the football 12 times, and he just didn't have to. I mean, the defense took care of everything. They had a pick six. The Ravens ran the ball 24 times for 189 yards. Henry had one of his best games of the season. He had multiple 20-plus yard runs. Even Keaton Mitchell, the speedster, 8 for 66, had a 22-yard run. So the Ravens were explosive on the ground, and they're going to have to continue to do that. See, Lamar hasn't been in his same self. He's dealt with turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions. I'm not saying to take the ball out of Lamar's hands because that'd be crazy to say. But in terms of what's winning for the Ravens right now, it's their run game and their defense. And if it ain't broke, do not fix it. But against the Patriots and against the Packers, absolutely Lamar's going to have to step up here and make plays. But Jackson also did have a 14-yard run. He had 2 carries for 26 yards, so he was able to open up the offense and extend plays. And you can't exactly just kind of sit on these backs because Lamar can keep it on that read option and go a long way. And we also saw, of course, Zay Flowers have that big catch. We also saw a big drop that led to an interception in typical Ravens fashion, so that's got to be cleaned up. Mark Andrews, 2 for 18. I mean, the receiving game was non-existent. I mean, Zay had a touchdown, which is refreshing because remember the last Bengals game, he had one that should have counted. They put offensive pass interference on him. I didn't like the call, but he bounced back and got this one. And then Rasheen Ali had a 30-yard leak-out touchdown catch on third, and I think it was like 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7. It's Wednesday when I'm recording this. This game was on Sunday, obviously, but that was big too. So the playmakers for the Ravens, they got it going in this one. And, I mean, this wasn't a perfect game. Like, 24-0. I mean, I know, like, it might seem like it, but I know the Ravens can be better, and they're going to have to be better if they want to win out. But this is a start. Like, you're getting late into December. This is Ravens football. It's just shutting teams out and running the ball and just not putting too much pressure on Lamar Jackson's hands. So I like the formula. Joe Burrow threw 39 times for just 225 yards, had a pick six, had another interception that bounced off of Jamar Chase's hands. He was sacked 3 times. The Bengals run game, I mean, it did honestly a pretty solid job, 29 for 100, but they were playing from behind. I mean, going into halftime, it was 14-0, and it didn't get any better for the Bengals after that. So they didn't really have an opportunity to run too much. I mean, 29 carries is a lot, but that's exactly what the Ravens wanted is, run the clock, and they knew that they weren't ever going to come back. And the Bengals honestly did get the ball down the field. They kept turning it over. Burrow took a huge sack early on in this game and knocked his team out of field goal range. So good job by Baltimore. I was listening to ESPN, and they were basically discrediting the Ravens, saying that, oh, well, Joe Burrow just was disinterested. He didn't really care about this game. I disagree. I thought this looked like the normal Joe Burrow. It's just the Ravens came to play, and they had an elite game plan. And this was a must-win game for the Ravens. Like, had they lost, their season would have been over. And they knew that, and they sure as hell played like it. Jamar Chase, 132 yards. I thought the Ravens did a good job of kind of keeping the ball in front of Chase. I mean, he's going to get numbers without T. Higgins out there. And that was pretty much it for that game. But if you look at the Steelers' schedule, and I know a lot of people don't like to look too far ahead, and I get it, but as a content creator, I mean, I can't help it. Like, I've always been that way. So the Steelers are going to go to Detroit and take on the Lions this Sunday. And then they've got to go to Cleveland, which at one point seemed like a free win, but Myles Garrett is the best player in football, in my opinion, at any single position. He's about to break the single season sack record. I think he's one away right now. And Shador Sanders, I mean, yeah, he's not. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the world, but he can give you a chance. Like he's very talented for a fifth round rookie, especially. So that is not a free game by any means. I really wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers lose that. Like I don't think the Steelers' offense is good by any means, and I think that the Browns are going to make that a close game. If Shador can just take care of the football, the Browns will win that game. And then, of course, a home game, Week 18 against us, Baltimore. So would not be shocked at all if the Steelers lose their next two games. I do think they'll beat Cleveland. I mean, especially late in the season, Mike Tomlin team, they'll probably win that. But if the Steelers do lose against Detroit, that actually gives the Ravens a little bit of flexibility because then they can drop one as well. As long as the Ravens go 2-3 and beating the Steelers, then they will win the division. But just to be sure, obviously you want to win every single game and make sure you have the best possible odds, which is 100%. Like if the Ravens win their next three games, they are literally guaranteed to have a home field playoff game. So that's what their goal is going to be. But would not be shocked at all if the Steelers drop a game and then the Ravens drop a game and then the Ravens just win Week 18. Because like, who am I trusting? The Steelers or Lamar Jackson and the way this defense has been playing in Week 18? After what I saw the last time we played the Steelers, I wouldn't. I mean, maybe the Steelers, but I just think that the Ravens are going to get this done. And I made my Ravens channel. I mean, I've got, 38 subs? I don't remember exactly which week I made it, but it wasn't. It was probably when we were like 4 and 5. I mean, or maybe even 3 and 5. And the reason I did that is because I just never count out this football team. And like last season, it just seemed like inevitable, honestly, the Ravens were going to win. And then it's been multiple times where the Ravens, it just seems like they're going to win and then they don't. And then I feel like it's going to happen the one year nobody expects them to do it. And given that Patrick Mahomes isn't in the playoffs, the Bills they're good still, obviously, but they're not great. Like they're not the Bills of last season. And then the NFC, your guess is kind of as good as mine. Is it the Eagles? Is it the Packers? I mean, who the hell really knows to this point? The Bears are good all of a sudden. So if the Ravens get in, I mean, anything is possible. I would pick the Ravens over the Chargers. I'd pick the Ravens against Bills would be really tough. I mean, week 1 we kind of saw how that went. If Henry doesn't fumble that football, I mean, the Ravens probably win. Last season, Mark Andrews. So it really comes down to kind of one play more often than not. And I'm just hoping that the Ravens can make the play for once because, man, they just simply have not been making it. But eventually it's going to happen. Like a Louis Gilman, gets the handoff, of course, on the pick. Man, I stuttered so hard there. I was going to say the pick from Calvin Noy, but then I stopped myself, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. And then I was like, oh, wait, that actually did happen. Like, right into his hands, and then he just hands it off to Gilman after like 10, 15 yards down the field. Marlon Humphrey also had an interception. See, the Ravens' potential defensively, it's starting to really show, and it did great against the Bengals the last time they played. It's just, unfortunately, the offense kept turning it over, and the Ravens still were in that football game. So I genuinely believe the Ravens are honestly going to make the playoffs. I don't think they'll beat the Packers, but I do have them beating the Patriots, and then I have them beating the Steelers in Week 18, and then the Steelers would have to lose against the Lions, which I think they will. And then the Ravens, they'll go to 8-7. The Steelers, with the loss, will go to 8-7 as well. And then, okay, same record. And then the Steelers win against the Browns. The Ravens lose. And then, okay, so you have the 9-7 Steelers against the 8-7 Ravens. And then the 8-7 Ravens beat the 9-7 Steelers. And then the Steelers go to 9-8. And then the Ravens also go to 9-8, but they have that advantage. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. And I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, and the Ravens just flat out win every single game. That'd be freaking awesome, and then go into the playoffs like with as much momentum as you possibly can have. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I'm out. Peace.